So I have just watched one of the greatest movies I have watched in a long time, and before I hear, oh, it's not that great, I fucking loved it, and I fell down a rabbit hole watching it, and I loved it. It's called Caddo Lake. It's by M. Night Shyamalan, and it's a HBO original movie. So firstly, I'm going to tell you I'm spoiling the fuck out of this movie right now. So it stars Dylan O'Brien, and it starts out with them flashing back between him and his girlfriend, or flashing to him and his girlfriend, and they're talking about his house that his mother had, and like his mother having seizures and died, and like he's trying to figure out how she actually died, and then flashing to this girl named, I don't remember her name, but her sister's name is Anna, and her sister is 8 years old. So this girl, who's an adult, does not get along with her family at all. It's her mother, her biological mother, and her stepfather and stepsister. Anna is her stepsister, but she treats her like her real sister, I think, or at least she tries to. Or biological sister, I should say, not real sister. Anyway, not the point. There's a argument, and the sister leaves. I think her name is Celeste. She leaves, and Anna apparently takes off after her in the middle of the night when nobody notices, and she goes missing. Now, a month prior, she had went missing as well, but only for 3 days or a couple days or something, and then came back. Now, this is when things get confusing, because Dylan O'Brien's character, I can't remember his name, he comes off this lake, and he's in this wooded area, and you start to see where he steps, things change. His hearing, you can hear things that are different. The surroundings change. His ears start to bleed. Something is wrong with where he's stepping. And then the same thing happens to Celeste. I believe that's her name again. Same thing starts happening to her when she gets in the wooded area. Now, when Anna takes off after her sister, she disappears completely. Nobody can find her. The next day, they're looking for her. She's missing for 3 days at this point, and her sister's looking for her. Her sister can't find her, but her sister goes to this woods, and she starts to realize that things are not right. She ends up doing the same thing that Dylan O'Brien's character does. Now, it took me a minute to realize this, but they're time traveling. Dylan O'Brien is in one time, and she is in a different one. They're based in 2 different time zones, or years. But you don't realize this till late down the line. Dylan O'Brien is based off the early 2000s, literally 2000, 1999 to 2000. That's how early he is. I'm not exactly sure which year, but it's early. She's based in 2022 or 2023, I think. I'm not sure. And they're jumping through times in this forest, woods, whatever it is. She ends up going to 2005. He ends up going to 1955, and then all the way up to 2022. And she ends up going back to her timeline, but she goes to the wrong timeline, and she finds her sister from the first time she disappeared. And then she takes her back, but then she ends up going back into the forest and disappearing again into a different time. It is so messed up. But as soon as they started jumping times, I knew what was happening. As soon as they started jumping timelines, I knew what was happening. So Dylan O'Brien was trying to figure out how his mom died. She was an older lady. Her name was Anna Lang. The 8-year-old girl that goes missing in 2022. She goes missing. She ends up in 1955, where Dylan O'Brien ends up, and he finds her with a hole in her, a branch through her stomach. He finds her. He passes her off to strangers, and he runs back into the forest. She can never go back to the future because she doesn't know how. She doesn't know how she got there. So she's raised in 1955, meets a man, has a baby, has Dylan O'Brien's character. Now, the best part about this, you're like, how are they connected? Besides for her being her stepsister being the one that goes back in time. Because Dylan O'Brien, in the 2000s, before he started going into the woods, he had slept with someone who had a daughter, And it's his daughter, who 20 years or 19, 20 years later turns out to be Celeste. So this whole time, Anna, Celeste, and Dylan O'Brien's character are the only ones like connecting through this portal. And it's such like an on your seat, watch it moment. Like, it's so amazing. I was hooked this entire time. And at the end, so during the movie, Celeste's mom is kind of a cunt. But Celeste ends up in 2005, I think, or 2003, I'm not sure. And she finds her mom's, or she finds a truck that has a necklace in it. And she knows this necklace because her sister had this necklace. She had, like, this necklace is in her family. So she breaks into the truck and she tries to grab this necklace. And the woman who owns the truck, her mother, sees her, stops her, yells at her. She's like, "This is mine. You're stealing from me, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Where did you get this necklace? This is my sister's necklace." So she snaps and she finally, but she attacks her. She scratches her face. And she's like, she snaps and she goes, "This was his mother's necklace," pointing to a missing persons flyer. The missing person being Dylan O'Brien's character, who went missing in the early 2000s. It's like, so she attacked her. She attacked her future daughter, who she doesn't know, like, is her daughter. And she's like, she thinks that Dylan O'Brien had run away with her. Like, at this point, she's convinced that he's had an affair and he ran away with her. And she's like, "Just tell him he has a kid. Just tell him he has a kid." So in the movie, she also tells her, like, "I don't know what happened to your father. He ran off with some woman, and I told her to tell him that he has a kid, but he never came back." So in the future, 2022, Anna shows her a picture. Not Anna. Celeste shows her a picture of Anna in 1955 in school, and she realizes, like, what the hell's going on? And she touches her face where she had just cut her. For Celeste, it was not even a day ago. For the mom, it was 20 years ago. Even though, time, I can't explain. This movie is so fucking awesome. It's called Caddo Lake, Caddo Lake. It's on HBO. It's an HBO original movie, and I am obsessed. I love it. I'm probably going to watch it again because I feel like I missed a bunch of stuff. But if you've seen it, let me know what you think. And if you haven't, please watch it.